Hello pre-calculus students. This is Unit 8, Day 1, and we're going to talk about the properties of logarithms. The properties of logarithms are related to the properties of exponents, and you'll see that come up in just a minute. We have three properties that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the product property. Oops. Alright, and this property says that if you have the sum of two logs, so they can have whatever base you want, let's just call it base b. So I have log base bx plus, this one does have to have the same base, so log base b of y. This is equal to the log, still base b, of the product xy. And you'll remember that you have a similar property with exponents, that if I want to multiply 5 to the x times 5 to the y, that's going to equal 5 to the x plus y. So you see how it works backwards, because logarithms and exponential equations are inverses of each other. Alright, the quotient property. Okay, you might expect that if you add two logarithms, you get the log of the product. If you subtract two logarithms, log base bx minus log base by, you're going to get the logarithm of the quotient, log base b x over y. And then the power property might be the most surprising one. Let's do the power property. If you have a coefficient in front of your log, let's say 5, and I do 5 log base bx, that coefficient can become an exponent on this x. So it's going to come right here, log base b x to the 5th. So we're going to use these logarithms to simplify some expressions. Okay, here I have a subtraction problem, so I'm going to be using the quotient property because this is subtraction. I'm going to rewrite it as the log base 3 of x over y, so 54 over 2. And I get log base 3 of 27. So I'm thinking 3 to what exponent gives me 27? Remember? 3 to what gives me 27? 3 times 3 times 3 is 27, so x is equal to 3. Okay, the next one, I'm going to start by using the power property because I see the 7 in front and I see a 3 in front. So I have log base 2 x to the 7th plus log base 2 y to the 3. So that's the power property that says that this coefficient can become an exponent on my variable here. Now I'm going to go and use the product property. If I have a log plus a log, it can become the log of their product as long as they have the same base. So log base 2 x to the 7 y to the 3. Alright, now you might want to pause the video here and try the next one on your own. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my exponent, put it here. So I have log base 4 6 squared minus log base 4 9. And 6 squared is 36. So I'm going to have log base 436 minus log base 4 9. And then I'm going to use my quotient property to make this the log of the quotient. So log base 4 36 over 9. And that makes log base 4 of 4. So the question is 4 to what exponent gives you 4? And you know that's 4 to the first, so your answer is 1. You can also use these rules to expand logarithms, which is like working backwards. So if you have the logarithm of a quotient, you can change that to be the difference of the two logarithms. So you would have log 4x minus the log of y. And remember, if you don't have a base there, that just means that the base is 10. And I can actually split this up as well. If I have the log of a product, I can make it the sum of the logs. So I can have log 4 plus log x minus log y. Okay, same thing here. So you might want to give this one a try before you listen. So I have log base 3 of x to the 4th minus log base 3, 729. And then I can move this exponent to the front, so I would have 4 log base 3x minus log base 3. And 729 actually happens to be a power of 3. It's 3 to the 6th. So here you're saying to yourself, 3 to what exponent gives you 3 to the 6th? So that exponent has to be 6. You can actually see that exponentials and logarithms are inverses of each other, so they would cancel out. So you could cancel these two out, and it would leave you with the 6 right there. So this one stays 4 log base 3x, and then this is minus 6. Okay, right here, some people get stuck on the square root, but remember, a square root is the same as a 1/2 exponent, so you can think of this as log base 3, 4 times x to the 1/2. And then because this is a multiplication, you can break that into the sum of two logs. Log base 3, 4, plus log base 3 x to the 1/2. And then finally, you can bring that 1/2 out front here. Okay, and that's the end of page 1, and I will have another video for you for page 2.